Welcome to another edition of Agronomic Insights brought to you by Harvestland Co-op. My name is Kyle Pulley. I'm a Yield Pro Specialist with Harvestland, and with me today is Drake Copeland of FMC. Drake, we're turning the calendar here. We're winding down on the 2020 crop year, and combines are going to be rolling here in the next few months. And as we do that, we need to start thinking about our 2021 crop and the things we can do to set ourselves up for success for the next crop we're going to put out. And the first thing I think we need to talk about today for a little bit is fall herbicide applications or fall burn down, and just talk a little bit about the logistics and timing of when we need to get those applications on to best benefit those growers and what they're trying to achieve.
So yeah, after the combine gets to the field, it's a perfect opportunity. You think about our falls, it's still got temperatures above 50 degrees, which we like to put as the rule of thumb for our post herbicides to actually still work and be effective on actively growing weeds. And that's the key there. We want weeds out there that are in the rosette stage. Specifically, I'm talking about mare's tail, and when they're at the smallest, most vulnerable point in their life cycle. And that way we can get a good, effective application and be clean up into the spring. But a lot of times Mother Nature doesn't allow us to get out timely, and we can be in days as late as later October. It can be on into November, but the key thing is to have that air temperature that is adequate for post-emergence applications, specifically in a fall burn down. Now I get questions too, can I do the same thing in January, February? And yes, absolutely. Some guys run through the field with combines and they don't see weeds coming up yet. Well, a little bit later, those weeds will actually emerge because there's sunlight and other environmental factors that allow for germination. So there will be some days in January and February where guys are itching to get out because we do get those 50-degree days. So I think we could still make these applications on into the early, late winter phase in the year.
Right, and with that, I mean, the other big piece of that is that there's just not enough manpower to get everything accomplished. I mean, if you're running the combine and you're trying to get some tillage, I think that's a great opportunity for you to sit down with your Yield Pro specialist and see what Harvestland's ability is to help you out, because we're able to cover a lot of acres with those fall applications and help make sure growers can start clean for the 2021 crop, because we know really well that when you start clean and you can stay clean throughout the growing season, it's going to allow for more opportunities for yield and things like that as we move forward. One thing I guess we'll also talk a little bit about is a residual going in with fall here. If we're early into the fall, like September, October, do we really need a residual as if we kind of move later and do one of those January applications? Where do you think a residual would be best suited?
Yeah, I think earlier in the fall is where your residual is going to provide the best control. You think about weeds like water hemp. Those can still come up late into the fall, and their flowering mechanism is targeted by photoperiodism, and that really occurs in the fall. You get short day periods, and that weed will flower as small as 2 to 3 inches tall. So you got to think about seed production at that point, and that's really where a residual herbicide in your fall burn down can help.
Yeah, so we'll kind of wrap up with that. And if you have any questions on different programs for a fall herbicide application, make sure you reach out to your Yield Pro specialist, and we thank you for joining in for another episode of Agronomic Insights.